Sanacht was about to reply when a sudden stab of psychic pain snapped his head up. He felt the bright presence of a murderer's mind, a mind utterly unlike the savagery of the wolves, one taken to the brink of ruination by years of grief and abuse, then honed to a lethal edge by ascetic discipline to match that of legion training. "On your left!" cried Sanacht, thrusting his hand out with what power was left to him as a curved blade arced into the fractional gap at the beautiful swordsman's gorget. Legion reflexes were inhumanly fast, but this was a master's cut, traveling the shortest route to its target. Even Lucius couldn't avoid it. Concussed and without enumerations, Sanacht's kind push was weak and unfocused, a neophyte's effort. It altered the blade's course by a mere 3 millimeters, but instead of flesh, it sliced a sparking groove across Lucius's gorget. The swordsman's eyes went wide, and Sanacht saw frustration at an answer denied in his expression. Lucius danced away from a swift reverse cut, his sword flashing up to block a stunning chain of life-ending strikes. He circled, parrying and blocking, now relishing the contest. The mist cleared, and Sanacht saw who dared face Lucius. A mortal of the dragon nations, wearing loose-fitting robes well suited for swordplay. He wore no armor, further proof he was utterly insane, and fought with a blade of near-perfect balance and curvature. "This one has skill," said Lucius, deflecting precision blows that would have left a lesser man in pieces. "Kill him, and be done with it." "Not till I teach him a lesson or 3. As the trauma of his injury began to fade, Sanacht pushed his mind into the higher enumerations. He stabbed a psychic barb into the mortal's mind. The man staggered, only just managing to turn aside a thundering blow that ought to have cut him in 2. "Don't you dare!" cried Lucius, shooting Sanacht a venomous glare. "Don't you dare touch him, he's mine." Sanacht withdrew the barb. He had already seen enough. Yasu Nagasena, an agent of the Emperor, sent here by the Sigillite on the word of... Sanacht swung onto one knee. Both swords leapt to his hands. Lucius switched his grip with a beatific smile, matching the mortal's angular two-handed posture. They traded blows for a handful of seconds, an eternity longer than most would have lasted against Lucius. But no matter their skill or heart, a duel between a mortal and a legionary could end in only one way. Lucius parried a perfectly executed thrust and rolled his wrist to trap Nagasena's blade in the crook of his elbow. He twisted his arm, and the gleaming blade snapped cleanly in 2. The look of pain on the mortal's face suggested he'd lost a firstborn son. Lucius laughed at Nagasena's horror and stepped in close to haul him from his feet. He held him close, as if studying an idiot savant. "You're good," he said, "but you're no little raven." Nagasena struggled in the swordsman's grip, but Lucius was already bored of him. Rather than honor his foe with a clean death, Lucius simply hurled him from the balcony. Another shape emerged from the icy mist, but this was no gifted mortal. This was a legionary plated in brushed steel that could barely contain the awesome power he commanded. "Perhaps I will offer more of a challenge," said Diopromus. His psychic hood blazed with ether power, and Sanacht felt the unbreakable mental architecture of Ultramar's teachings. "Run," said Sanacht.